You step into the valley and the first thing you notice is the silence. Not the quiet of a calm afternoon, the silence of something missing. The birds are gone, no finches chattering in the hazel thicket, no woodpecker tapping a dead oak. Even the insects seem to have pressed themselves into the bark and gone still. Your own footsteps sound too loud on the damp leaves, and you slow down before you even know why. You have walked through 100 forests like this one, but this forest is different. The energy is wrong. Every story your grandmother told you about the places where the big cats hunt comes rushing back. She said the forest goes quiet when an apex predator moves through. The small animals know better than to announce themselves. And the birds? They are the best alarm system you have. If they are not calling, something is making them afraid to call at all. You scan the trees ahead. That is when you see it. A pine trunk at the edge of a clearing, scarred by 4 deep gashes running from shoulder height down to about your waist. The bark is peeled back in long strips. Fresh sap glistens on the edges. You step closer and measure the width of the claw marks with your fingers. Too large for a wolf, too high for a bear. These are the marks of a cave lion. The claws raked down with force, leaving gouges that dug into the wood like a knife into wet clay. You touch the edge of one groove. The wood is still damp underneath the torn bark. This mark was made recently, within the last day, maybe less. You step back and look at the tree again. A single marking like this is not random. It is a statement, a boundary marker. The lion is telling every other creature in this valley that this land belongs to it. And you have just walked across the line without permission. You drop to one knee beside a patch of damp soil near a small stream. The mud is soft but not watery. The kind of ground that holds a print like a mold. And there it is. A paw print the size of your spread hand. 4 toe pads. A large central pad with a distinct tri-lobed rear edge. The mark of a cave lion. You lean in close. The edges of the print are sharp. No wind or rain has softened them. Even the tiny ridges of the pads are visible. That tells you something important. This print is fresh, probably made sometime during the night or early morning. If it were days old, the edges would be rounded, the details blurred by drying and crumbling. But this one is crisp. The lion passed through here hours ago, not days. You measure the depth. The print sinks deep into the mud, especially at the heel. That is a heavy animal, a full-grown male maybe. And the fact that he stepped here near the stream suggests he was coming down to drink after a feed. Your eyes track the direction of the toes. He was heading northeast, up the valley, away from the open meadow. That is where the cover is thicker. That is where he would go to rest. A few paces away, you find a pile of scat. Dark, twisted, almost black. It is still moist on the inside. You pick up a stick and prod it. Hair. Lots of it. And small bone fragments. A deer, probably. The lion ate well recently. That is good and bad. A full predator is less likely to hunt on sight, but it is also more likely to defend a kill if you stumble onto it. You glance around the base of the trees. No sign of a cached carcass nearby. That means the lion might have eaten and moved on, or it might have dragged the kill deeper into the brush. You look back at the track. If the lion was heading northeast and has not returned along this path, you are walking in the same direction he went. The question is whether you are following him or walking into his territory. You stand up and check the wind. It is blowing uphill, into your face. That means he cannot smell you coming, but it also means you are walking blind into his ground. The musky odor hits you before you see the bush. Thick, pungent. The smell of felid urine, strong enough to make your eyes water. You stop and breathe through your mouth. That is not a casual scent mark. That is a chemical fence. The lion has sprayed this bush deliberately, saturating the leaves at about the height of a large dog's shoulder. The message is clear. This line is not to be crossed. You crouch and look at the ground beneath the bush. The soil is dark and churned. He has scraped his hind paws here, kicking up dirt and leaves into a small mound. It is not a burial. It is a visual marker to go with the smell. Any animal passing this way will see the disturbed ground and smell the urine long before they see the lion himself. You have learned to read those signs yourself. This is the edge of a core territory. A few steps further, you find a fallen log with parallel claw marks gouged into the bark. 4 deep lines, spaced evenly. You check the next tree, the same pattern, and the next. The marks repeat along this ridge in a straight line for at least 50 paces. You stop and look back the way you came. The scratches are spaced at regular intervals. No gaps. Every few meters, the lion has reached up and dragged his claws down another trunk. This is not one marking. It is a network. You realize what you are looking at. The scent marks and the scratches are a system. They trace the boundaries of the lion's hunting ground. The single scratch you saw earlier was a gateway marker, but here, on this ridge, you are following the actual fence line. The lion patrols this boundary regularly. He scratches the trees to renew the visual signal. He sprays the bushes to keep the chemical warning fresh. All of it is designed to keep intruders out, and you are standing right on the line. You turn and face the direction the marks face. They are all oriented one way. The scratches are deeper on the inside edge. That tells you where the lion stands when he makes them. He faces out, away from his core territory. So you are looking into his home. And if you step past this line, you are no longer a visitor. You are an intruder in his living room. You step over the ridgeline and the air changes. It feels heavier. Still, you move forward slowly, placing each foot with care. The forest floor is soft with years of fallen needles. No twigs snap under your weight. You scan the ground ahead for anything unusual. A patch of earth looks wrong. The leaves are piled unevenly, too symmetrical. You stop and study it. At the center, a clump of dried grass and dirt sits higher than the surrounding litter. Something is buried here. You kneel down. Your fingers brush the surface. The leaves are damp but not rotting. This pile is recent. You pull back a handful of debris and the smell hits you. Raw meat, iron, decay. You uncover a section of hide. Deer. The leg is still attached, half-eaten. The muscle has been stripped from the bone in clean strips. A predator's work. The carcass has been dragged here and covered with leaves and dirt. A cache. The lion stored his leftover kill to come back later. Your pulse quickens. You look down at the ground around the cache. The soil is disturbed. Paw prints press into the soft earth. But they are not fresh. The edges have dried and crumbled slightly. The lion left this kill at least a day ago. He might be anywhere now. But he will return. You check the direction of the paw prints leading away from the cache. They head deeper into the valley, away from you. For now. You stand slowly. Do not make sudden movements. The wind is blowing from the south toward you. That is good. The lion will not catch your scent unless the wind shifts. You take a step backward. Then another. Your eyes stay fixed on the cache and the trail leading from it. You retreat the way you came. Keep your steps light. Do not disturb anything else. Every meter you put between yourself and that buried carcass is a meter you earn with silence and luck. You did not cross this line. But you saw what it guards. The core of the hunting ground is a place where meat is hidden and returned to. You are an uninvited guest at a meal that is not yours. You have retreated 50 meters from the cache. You stop behind a thick pine trunk and listen. The forest is quiet. Not silent, but pressed thin. A few birds chirp in the distance. A squirrel rustles in the leaves. Nothing alarming. Then the jay shrieks. The sound cuts through the air like a blade. It is not a casual call. It is sharp, repeating, the same note over and over. You know that call. It is the alarm call for a ground predator. Something large, something moving. You freeze. Your hand rests on the tree bark. You do not breathe. The jay screams again from downstream. Then it goes silent. Now the forest is truly quiet. The frogs that were croaking near the stream have stopped. The crickets have stopped. Even the wind seems to hold still. This is not natural silence. This is the silence of animals waiting. They know something is coming through their world. You turn your head slowly. The direction of the jay's last call was upstream, maybe 100 meters. The lion could be moving parallel to the stream, or he could be circling downwind. You do not know. You look around for escape. A A sturdy oak stands 10 meters to your right. Its lowest branch is just above your head. You can reach it. You cross the ground quickly but quietly. You jump, grab the branch, and pull yourself up. The bark scrapes your palms. You climb higher. 8 meters up. You settle on a wide fork where the trunk splits. The branches around you provide cover but let you see the ground below. You scan the forest floor through gaps in the leaves. Nothing moves. The silence presses against your ears. Then you catch a flicker of tawny movement near a boulder 50 meters away. A large shape passes behind the rock and disappears into shadow. You see only the silhouette for half a second. But you know what it is. The lion is moving through his territory. He is not running. He is patrolling, checking. And you are in his tree. You hold still. Do not make a sound. The forest is not quiet because the lion has scared it. The forest is quiet because every animal has gone into hiding. They are all watching the same predator. And now, so are you. The lion does not emerge from the shadow. You wait. Minutes pass. The silence holds. Then a frog croaks tentatively. Another joins it. The forest begins to breathe again. The lion has moved on. He did not stop at your tree. You climb down slowly. Your legs are shaky. You need to get out of this valley, but you cannot just run blindly. You need a route that keeps you safe. You head for a rock outcrop you spotted earlier. It juts out from the hillside, open on 3 sides. No cover for an ambush. You scramble up onto the flat surface. From here you can see across the valley. The forest spreads below you in patches of green and shadow. A stream cuts through the center. Game trails radiate from it like veins. You study the terrain. The lion will use cover. Thick brush, fallen logs, rocky crevices. You spot a dense tangle of bushes near a bend in the stream. The deer trails converge there. A perfect ambush spot. The predator could lie inside the brush and wait for prey to come to the water. You mark that area in your mind. Avoid it. You trace a route that stays in open ground. Ridgelines, meadows. Anywhere you can see 50 meters in every direction. The sun is low in the west. You will need to keep it at your back. That way the lion, if he is ahead of you, will have to look into the glare. It will slow his reaction. You pick a long grassy slope that leads up to a higher ridge. No trees, no boulders, just open slope. It will take longer, but it will be visible. You commit to the path. Before you descend, you memorize the landmarks. The dead pine with the broken top, the white boulder shaped like an egg, the gap in the trees where the ridge meets the sky. These are your guideposts. If you get turned around, you will know you are lost. You step off the outcrop and begin moving. The wind is still in your face. The sun is behind you. Every step is measured. You are reading the horizon now, not the ground. You are thinking like someone who sees the whole landscape as a chessboard, and the lion is the other player. Your route forces you toward a narrow gully. It cuts through the ridge like a wound. Steep sides, thick brush at the bottom. You can see the far side maybe 20 meters away. It is the only gap in the terrain for half a kilometer. And it is the perfect ambush site. A lion could lie in the shadows under those overhanging ferns and you would not see it until you are already in its leap range. Your jaw tightens. You stop at the edge. The wind is still blowing from behind you. That is good. Your scent is carried away from the gully. But your noise travels too. Every footstep, every breath, every pebble dislodged could be heard by a predator waiting in cover. You need cover of your own. You wait. The wind gusts are irregular. A strong puff, then a lull. You need a gust that will mask the sound of your movement. You stand still, 1 heartbeat, 2. The wind picks up. Leaves rattle. Grass bends. Now you sprint. Not in a straight line. You shift direction every 3 strides. Left, right, left again. Your feet slap the ground. The gully floor is soft with leaf litter. You pump your arms. The far slope rises ahead. You drive up it, hands grabbing at roots and rocks for purchase. The wind is still howling. Your heart hammers in your ears. And then you hear it. A sharp snap behind you. Not a branch breaking under your own weight. A different sound. Dry and sudden, like a twig cracking under a heavy paw. Your instinct screams to turn, to look, to see what is there. You do not. You keep moving. Your legs burn. The top of the gully rim is close now. 3 more strides. 2. You throw yourself over the edge and roll onto flat ground. You scramble to your feet and keep running until you are 50 meters into open grass. Only then do you stop. You turn. The gully sits silent. Nothing moves. But you do not go back to check. You know what you heard. You breathe. You are still alive. You climb the next ridge at an angle, keeping one shoulder to the wind. The ground hardens underfoot. Bedrock. That is good. No soft dirt to hold tracks. No mud to betray you. As you crest the ridge, the valley opens below you like a bowl. It is different here. The trees are spaced wider. The underbrush is thinner. Sunlight reaches the forest floor in dappled patches. You scan for signs. Scratches on bark. Scrapes on the ground. Tufts of fur caught on thorns. Nothing. You walk down into the valley and find a stream. Clear water running over smooth stones. You kneel and look at the bank. Deer tracks. Dozens of them. Fresh. But no large carnivore prints among them. No scat. No scent marks. The deer are relaxed here. They drink without tension. You realize you have been holding your shoulders hunched for hours. You let them drop. You fill your water bag and drink. The water's cold. It tastes like iron and moss. You look around and notice something. Your brain is still doing the work. Even now. You see the way the light falls, the patterns of shadow and open ground, the movement of birds and insects. You are still scanning. Still reading. This is not a skill you learned today. It is a skill your ancestors used for hundreds of thousands of years. You are using the same pattern recognition that kept them alive when predators were a daily threat. The same ability to see danger before it sees you. You find a campsite near the stream. Open ground. Good visibility. A large flat rock for a fire pit. You gather wood, dry branches, pine needles for tinder. You strike your fire starter. A spark catches. The flame grows. You feed it slowly. The smoke rises straight into the air. Fire is the one thing predators do not understand. They fear it. You sit with your back to a tree facing the flames. The valley is quiet. No scratches, no strong odors, no sudden silence. You are out of the territory. The ancient skill of reading the land has brought you through. You breathe deep. The fire crackles, you eat, you rest, you are safe.